this is your first time meeting her, Sue, she runs a YouTube channel called the Cantonese Corner, which she posts a lot of very useful Cantonese learning material on YouTube, and you might want to go there and check it out as well. So welcome back, Sue. And then if I can introduce you a little bit to you, Sue lived in Hong Kong for about 30 years, and she learned Cantonese all by herself. And she will have a lot of tips and materials that she can share with us. This is our special Lunar New Year edition, and Sue will go over some of the special things that we talk about and do during Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. All right, so welcome, Sue.
Oh, thank you, Janet, so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you to the Oakland Library. I am on the East Coast of the U.S., but I did live in Hong Kong for 30 years. I am by no means an expert, especially when it comes to Chinese New Year. I, as Janet mentioned, was in Hong Kong for 30 years, and hopefully we'll be going back this year, and lived through many, many Chinese New Years with my family, but there's a lot that I have to learn as well. So I'm just so glad you guys could join us today, as we're going to be talking about some pretty interesting things having to do with Chinese New Year, starting with the Chinese Zodiac. But first, so today we're going to go over the 12 Chinese Zodiac animals and their traits. In a very general sense, these are just things you can find yourself on the internet as well, on what animals and what traits are associated with them, lucky numbers and lucky colors as well. But first, I think we're going to start with a little review. Yes. So first of all, as you guys probably know, if you know anything at all about Cantonese, you know that it's a tonal language and it matters a lot how you're saying the words in terms of their tone. So we've got 6 tones in Cantonese. There are 2 phonetic systems that people use to learn Cantonese if you don't know characters. And one of them is called Yutping. Yutping uses numbers to denote the tones. So therefore we've got tone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the Yale system, which is another popular one, but is not as popular these days because they use the accent marks above the letters. And as you know, when you're on the computer, it's a lot easier just to write a number there. So we've got that. So I combine in our lessons Yale writing with a Yutping tone mark, 1 through 6. And taking a look at the chart, you know that our tone 1, 3, and 6, you'll notice, oh, let's go back one sec, sorry, to that tone chart. Well, you can kind of see it. But 1, 3, and 6 are flat tones. Tones 2 and 5 are going to be rising. You have a mid-rising tone 2 and a low-rising 5. And then tone 4, interestingly enough, is your lowest sounding tone. It starts out around tone 6 and then it just goes down. Okay, so those are our 6 tones in Cantonese. And
so the system that Sue is introducing to us is a bit of a hybrid system, right, Sue?
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to seeing Yutping, Yale and Yutping are really similar. There's just a few of the letters that are different, most noticeably a J in Yutping comes out sounding more like a Y. So Yale will use a Y. That's just one of there's a few letters, but for the most part, they're pretty, I wouldn't say they're interchangeable, but you can recognize them. And the reason that I like Yale so much is that I think that Yale is a bit easier, especially for English speakers who are first learning Cantonese, to get the tones or to get the sound right. Not all the time. They're not perfect. I don't think Yutping is perfect either. Yutping came after Yale. And I have a whole video on YouTube about the 2 systems. So if you're interested in learning more, you can head on over there. But for our purposes tonight, I don't want to take up too much time before we get into Lunar New Year, is a little review of the numbers. So you'll notice that the numbers go, I think you all know them, but say them along with me if you want. They are Yat, Yi, Sam. So you're going 1, 6, 1. Say is a 3, so a bit higher. Lo, Cat, Bat. We're not going to do Lang just yet. Gao, Sop. And then 11, Sop Yat. 12, Sop Yi. Now these are going to become important. Why? Because we've got 12 animals. Okay. So there's the 1 through 12. And of course, 0 is our 4th low falling Lang, right? Lang for 0. That's just a little bit of a review. But now I'm going to put them in their tone order. So our next slide has the numbers in tone order. So you've got your Yat, Sam, Tat, all number one tone, right? The high tone. Yes, chat. Gao is going to be your second mid-rising. Gao. Say bat is going to be your 4 and 8, your third tone. Leng is 4. Is your number 5, going a low rising fifth tone. And then Yi Lo Sa is 2, 6, and 10. So just a little bit of a review there of the tones using the numbers. So another review we have had before, if you joined our lessons back when we did them in, was it July and August? Yeah,
I think July. It was, July, August.
Yeah, July and August. We did introduce our fourth low falling name, right? Name. And month. Did you guys want to say it after? So I can say lean.
Lean.
Okay, we've got then yut.
Yut
is month, and yat is day. So if you're doing I think you'll remember that when you're talking about time or dates, calendar dates, in Chinese, it's always year first, then the month, and then the date. So they start big and get small. And you'll notice this again, if you'll remember, in addresses. When you're writing an address in Chinese on an envelope, you start with the country, and then the city, and then the street, and then the number, and then the name, which I always thought was really clever, because obviously you want to know where you're going first. Whereas in the States, you start with the person's name, then the street address, and the city. Anyway, that's all to say that if you're saying the year, month, date, the date, it's 2023年1月4號. And you'll notice that the ho is a spoken way of saying the yeah. So let's get on so we can get into our lunar talk. So one thing else I wanted to point out, though, is when we're talking about this year, this month, and today, we're using gum. And I know they don't have the phonetics there, but that first character there is gum. So gum nian is this year. Gum go yue, or li go yue, is going to be this month. And gum yat, if you know some Cantonese already, you know that gum yat means today. So this in English is your li go yue. But it's also when you're talking about year and today, it's gum nin, gum go yu, gum yat. And also reviewing our verb to be, which is hai. And that's your is, am, is, or are. So I am, ang o hai. You are, lei hai. It's all just the hai. And that's the great thing about Cantonese, right? If this is the first time you're joining us, your first introduction, they make it so easy in so many ways. You don't have to have so many different forms of verbs. It's just one. So, for example, if we wanted to say today is the 4th, right? Today is the 4th. It'd be as easy as saying gum yat is today, hai is, and then say ho. Gum yat hai say ho. Gum yat hai say ho is today is the 4th. This month is January. Gum go yu, or li go yu, right? Hai yat yu. Yat yu would be your January. And that's the interesting thing about when you're learning the use of like the go, right? And you're thinking, why do I have to say gum go yu instead of just like gum yu, right? You've got gum nian, why not gum yu? Well, that's because, as you can tell, January is simply yat yu, February yi yu, right? And because that's that special way of referring to January, February, March, Sam yu, March, right? Sawat yu is November, Sam yu, December. So you've got to put that go in there if you're going to be talking about this month. Gum go yu. Yat go yu is 1 month. Yat yu is January. And again, this is kind of review. So if I'm going a bit quick, I apologize, but we'll do one more. And that is, this year is the year 2023. Unbelievably. You just can't believe it's already 2023. But 今年係2023年. Okay? So moving on. Let's start learning something new, which is the Chinese zodiac. And you've got your Sab Yi, right? Your 12. Sab Yi Sang Qiu. Sab Yi Sang Qiu is your Chinese zodiac. So this year coming up is the year of the rabbit. If I'm not mistaken, January 23rd is the first day of the Chinese New Year, I think. I okay, good. I was gonna say, I look at that stuff and I remember it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, am I? Yeah, so Year of the Rabbit, each year has a different animal, and this year we're in the Year of the Rabbit. So rabbit is Lin, right? Lin is Year of the Rabbit. So if you wanted to say 2023 or 2023 is a Year of the Rabbit, 2023年係兔年, right? Yeah. So let's go through the different animals of the zodiac. And Janet, I think I've been talking a lot. What if we had to take a short break? Could you tell us a little bit more about that story behind the Chinese zodiac? There's 12 animals, and I know they all went to a big, I wanted to say a party, but I think I'm not right about that. They all went to do a race. Is that right? Can you tell us?
I think it was a little bit of a story behind it of how these 12 animals come about. It was more like maybe like a fairy tale. But then it's about, I think the heaven god had called on a race for these animals, so then they can work out who belongs to which year and which animal comes first. So then we have 12 or actually 13 animals all involved. And 12 animals, of course, the mouse came out to be the very first who finished the race. And then we actually have pig that arrived at the very last. And we have storybooks that you can check out at the library, but I think the end of it is that mouse came first and then the pig came last. And a lot of you might ask, oh, how come we don't have the year of the cat? Well, because at some point during the story, apparently the mouse had pushed the cat off a river. So cats have been known to not be friends with a mouse, and cats are also known not to really like water as well. So that's sort of the back end story of the 12 Chinese zodiac animals.
Yeah, definitely check out those books. I'm sure there's lots of really cool books about like children's storybooks and different books about that. But yeah, the first one to win the race was the Xu. It's that second mid-rising Xu, right? Xu Lin. So that is the year of the rat. And we're going to introduce some traits. Again, this is just for a little bit of fun. I mean, they're just, don't take them with a grain of salt, I guess. But Han, Ga, both first tone, high tone. Han, Ga would be frugal or thrifty. And that is what the year of the rat is known for. And those years there, you can see each one is 12 years apart. If you're born in that year, that Chinese zodiac year, then you would be the year of the rat. So some ways that the Han Ga is used Han, I often think of like Han Qin, right? You can be very frugal or thrifty with your money, your qin, right? Han Qin is one way that it's used that I'm very familiar with. Han Qin. Okay, the next one will be the Ngao, right? It's your fourth low falling Ngao, right? And that is the ox. And the ox are known for being very kanle. And I don't know if you noticed in the song at the beginning, they use kanle. They're talking about being hardworking in the song that we played, that Janet played for you in the beginning. So those lyrics are brilliant. You should go back and listen to that song and look at the subtitles. But anyway, this is the year of the ox. The ox is known as being very kanle, hardworking. Tiger, the year of the tiger, Fu. Again, the second mid-rising Fu. So Fu Lin, right? The year of the tiger. And that would be Yonggam, very brave. Yonggam. And you can say that again, Janet. Am I saying it wrong?
Yonggam.
Yonggam. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
And tigers are known for being very brave. This year is the year of the rabbit. So Tolin, right? Tolin is the year of the rabbit, and rabbits are known for being very yanqi, very kind. Longlin. Two low falling tones, the longlin. Longlin. Long is dragon, right? And you probably know it from the Gao Long in Kowloon, the Kowloon Peninsula, the 9 dragons. Dragons are known for being strong. So Kern, right? Kern is the 4th low falling tone, and it means strong.
Yep. And you will also notice that this year is 2023, and We are approaching the year of the rabbit very soon. And then next year in 2024, it's going to be the year of the dragon. Year of the dragon, I think in Hong Kong is known to be a very popular year for babies. A lot of parents, they like to have dragon babies. It often will be a bit of a boom for baby's birth.
That's for sure. And I remember that when it was the gold, I think the last one was the golden dragon, the year the golden dragon, and that was crazy for a lot of children born.
Yeah, many children born, and then 12 years later or 6 years later, then they will always have news saying that, this year is the admission to certain schools that are particularly competitive because we have a lot more kids this year. So it's a very popular year for parents to have kids because they all like dragon babies.
So we get to the snake, Selin, and that snake is known for being very black. Now we've got 3 characters there, but you'll notice there's a comma. So the first one is black, the first high tone, black. Now that means very clever. They both mean clever or smart. The second combination is a 2-character combination, 聰明, 好聰明, right? So you could say, 哇,你好叻, right? Or 你好聰明. And they both mean very clever or very smart. Ma is the year of the horse. A horse is a ma. And they're known for being very free-spirited. So 自由自在. 自由自在. 自由 is like freedom. 自由自在, very free-spirited. The horses are. Yang. Yang, again, a low falling 4th tone, yang. That is the year of the sheep. And sheep are known for being very 温柔, very gentle, very 温柔. And we've got the hao, right? Hao is the monkey.
Hao, I think sometimes we also call it ma lao.
Ma lao, yeah, I was going to say usually ma lao. Yeah, the year of the monkey, very, as you can imagine, mischievous. And that is Theo Pei. I'm just looking at the comments here. Is the word for sheep the same as the word for strong? Oh, no.
Yeah, to my curl. So I think it's different for sure. Maybe it's very little when it comes to the transliteration, but one is yang, and then the other one is curl.
Yeah, so the same tone, the 4th low falling, but it's K and a K or a Y, like a yang or a kang. Yeah. But good question, because it's
looks very similar.
Very, except that first consonant beginning yang and kang. Yeah. And we get to the year of the rooster, or the chicken, some people will say, and it's the first tone gai. Right, gai, your high tone, gai. Gai is very 認真, said to be very serious. I don't know, what are you guys thinking? Are these like ringing true? I'm not sure. But the gai is known for being 認真, which means serious. And the dog, the year of the dog, gao, gao lin. And gao, you'll know, is the same tone and the same sound, same letters, same spelling, as the number 9, Gao, but of course is a different character entirely. So the year of the Gao, Gao Lin, they're known for being very Seng Sat. Seng Sat would be loyal, and Lo Sat is honest. Yeah, why so serious? I don't know. But yes, very, very. And then finally, as Janet mentioned, this is our last animal in the race. Came up last but not least, the Julin. Right, Ju is a pig, Ju, and they're known for being very gong peng. So you're going very high with the gong and very low with the peng. Right, the 1st to the 4th low falling tone, gong peng, and that means fair or just. Gong peng. Yeah, so what did you guys think of think of those? I don't know what. Let's keep going and learn a little bit more Cantonese. So reviewing a few words, last time we did learn our mat ye, which means what. And if you are familiar with people speaking Cantonese, mat ye is like the proper way to say it, but a lot of times it's just abbreviated into ma or me. Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, ma. It's hard to say it really slow and really, but it's the first high tone. Me. It's really hard to say. Yeah, mea, 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 yeah, mea, yeah, the mea, right? The mea. That is actually your mut yeah in more of a proper way to say it. And so that's something that we learned earlier, and you probably know if you've already been speaking Cantonese for a while. Mut yeah, mea. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a new one, what we haven't done before. There is so yu. So is the first part. So yu is your sixth to the high tone yu. Now I put that in brackets, the yu, because a lot of times you don't need to say the whole so yu. You can just say so, and we'll see that in some of our dialogue coming up. But it means to be a part of or belong to. So especially if you're talking about, as we are, the Chinese zodiac, like I belong or I am part of, I am. Well, in English, we wouldn't even say belong or be part of, but just I am a pig, or I am a snake, or I am a tiger, right? But in Cantonese, you use that character sok to mean you're part of the gang, you're part of the part of the tigers or part of the pigs. Mm-hmm. So we'll see that in some of our dialogue coming up. So for example, if you were to say, you want to ask somebody like, which zodiac animal are you? You could then say nai, which is you, so, which is belong to, mat ye or me, so mat ye or me, and then we've got our sang qiu ga. Now sang qiu, as you remember from our very first slide talking about the zodiac, means zodiac. Sang qiu means the Chinese zodiac, and then we have our particle at the end that just makes it sound more native. It's kind of an expression, what is it, of surprise or of
or emphasize.
Emphasize, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Emphasize, not really surprise, but to emphasize. So nai, which is your, sorry, we're missing our number 5 after the nai. It's a low rising. Nai, so mat ye sang qiu ga. Or Janet, can you say it more natively?
I'll try to speak it slowly as well. 你屬乜嘢生肖㗎?
Mm-hmm. 你屬乜嘢生肖㗎? What zodiac animal are you? And your answer would obviously be I am, which is, we're using that word so to mean belonging to. I am the year of the, and then input your year. So who would like to have a go saying what year they are? If you want to unmute yourself, and just if I said, 你屬咩生肖㗎? What would you say? Anybody want to have a go?
Sure. 我屬豬。
Yeah.
我屬牛。
Which one is that?
牛
係咪牛啊?
ox
牛
牛
牛
我屬牛
Yes, you got that NG at the beginning, kind of like a no, and it's very low, no. And you might know it from like no yao, like butter, or well, anything with no, any kind of beef is going to be your no yo, right? Janet, I see you thinking. Am I?
Yeah, it is. I think I'm trying to think about where in here, but I think that's almost like a very, is it a glottal? Almost like a
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a very
energy.
low in there.
Yeah. Oh.
That might be a particularly hard sound for I think maybe Mandarin speaker especially.
Yeah, that kind of glottal stuff. No, yeah.
No.
No. Yeah. ngõ屬牛. Yeah, good. Anybody else?
我屬馬騮. Is that right my partner and I were discussing which way to say monkey.
Yeah. It could be 我屬馬騮, 我屬 好.
Okay.
Or sometimes people can also say 好极.
Oh.
It's just a 好极. I think it's more of the writing, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
Between 马lao and 好, I think it's both okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because well, in just general conversation, I would always say malao. I wouldn't ever say the how, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the comments we're talking about avocados. Going back to the ngao, ngao yao guo is avocado. Yeah. Ngao yao guo, which is usually butter guo, yao guo, like butter guo. Anyway, I digress. I'm talking about in the chat box there. But yeah, Malo. Anybody else?
No, so long.
Yeah, make it yes, make it a little bit lower. Long. Yeah.
No, so long.
Yep. So you're going like a 5, like ngo, and then so is actually 6. I think it's at 3. There's and also long, and then just write down long.
No, so long.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Long. Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can move on to, let's see, what else do we have? Yes, let's keep going. Lucky numbers, Janet, we're going to need some help here because I know in Cantonese, I think you guys, if you know numbers at all, you know that there are some that are lucky and some that are very unlucky, right? So we're going to be talking today about lucky numbers because especially during Chinese New Year, they feature quite prominently in different ways. So we've got on the first one is our Yi, which is number 2. And the Chinese meaning.
Yep, and in Chinese meaning is song, which means double. So a lot of times during Chinese New Year, parents, grandparents will be giving red packets or red envelopes to the younger ones. And oftentimes it would be given in pairs. So yi means double. It also means a pair. And it's considered as a lucky number. You will almost never give a single red envelope to people. Usually during Chinese New Year, it will be a double envelope or a pair of envelope. And then we also have the number 3, which is sam. And then sam, sometimes it sounds like sang, which is sangmang, which literally means very lively. And I think sang also means, in some ways, is to be able to reproduce and to have babies. So then sang is also another lucky number. And then we
you'll know from sang yet is your birthday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so sang, bring forth, to produce, to make more of.
Birth, yeah. And then we have number 6, which is lo. This one is, there's a Chinese or Cantonese saying that's called lok lok mo kong, which means it's forever and ever, or prosperity. So lok in the Chinese sense is also a lucky number. And then this is the one that I think everybody would know. If you see a license plate that has a lot of 8, usually it's going to perhaps belong to a Chinese family.
Yeah.
Which is ba, number 8, ba. But because it sounds exactly like fa. Fa, it's riches, fata. And yes, I see that there are meals, let's say Lunar New Year meals, that it could be 8888. So then it's all kind of counting on that, oh, after you have this meal, then you're going to be very, very rich. And the last one that we have in here is gao. So gao is the same as a dog, but then gao can also means longevity, 长长高高. So for someone to have long life, a long-lasting relationship as well. So 2, 3, Like that, gao, these are all lucky numbers.
Yeah. And you'll notice too that a lot of times the way the number sounds, it just sounds like another number. So you've got the bot and fat, but the sam and sang and the yi. This one actually, I wanted to say, I didn't even think of the meaning of double. I just thought of the meaning of easy, because in Cantonese, easy is yi, ho yong yi, right? Yi. So I always thought like when they say yi fat, say yi bat sounds a lot like yi fat, easy to be rich, right? Yi fat, yi bat. So anyway, that's another way that you'll see that they sound like another word, but maybe the tone will be a little bit different, or the bat and fat, they kind of rhyme, right? And so I know that in the comments you're talking about just don't say 4. So we will mention one unlucky number, right? That I think everybody probably knows, and that's the 4. And that is because if you say it in a different tone, it sounds like the word for death. So we're talking about yi sam say in the flat third tone is the number 4. But if you swing it up a little bit in the second tone, it's going to be die or death, right? Are there any others that I'm so sorry. Can you guys hear that beeping? I really apologize. I don't know how to get rid of that. So I'm sorry about that if you can hear that. But yes. You can't hear it? Okay, good. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, because yeah, this beeping keeps going off on my computer and I can't stop it. So I'm glad you guys can hear it. Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, lucky numbers. And lucky colors. These I kind of know. Janet, if you want to take these too, I know the hongsek. Well, I can do the pronunciation. So you've got hong is your 4th low falling, hong, and the high tone sek. Sek is what really means color. So hong sek is going to be red. And the next one, yellow, is wang. Again, a 4th low falling, wang, high tone sek. Wang sek is going to be yellow. And then the purple is going to be zi. Your 2nd mid-rising zi. Zi sek is going to be purple. So the reason they're lucky is I just know that red is everywhere in China. The flag is red. It's a very lucky color. You see it everywhere. But I don't really know why. But yeah.
I actually also don't really know why, except for I know red color. It's for warding away or warding off the evil spirits in many Asian cultures. So that's why we wear red. And then I think particularly in Cantonese culture, then probably I think it's the day before Chinese New Year, even like from head to toe, you have to wear red. From the outside to the inside, it also has to be red as well, in a way of ward off evil spirits. And there is also one saying that's called Dai Hong, Dai Ji, which literally means big red and big purple. So purple is another color for those that they are not too into red, and they also wear purple as well. We include yellow in here. Yellow, in the very traditional Chinese sense, yellow is the color that usually the emperor wears. But yellow is also the color of gold as well. So during Lunar New Year, I think Chinese culture is big on having new wealth coming in the new year. So that's why sometimes you will also see people wearing yellow as well to bring more gold to themselves and their family as well.
Yeah. I remember seeing a lot of red shoes as well, like on children and well, adults as well, I guess. But yeah, and we'll be talking about that coming up in one of our other episodes of the tradition of buying new clothes during the Chinese New Year. And a lot of them are red. We'll also be talking about food during Chinese New Year, but not today. First, we're going to do some practice. So we're going to Lin Zang. So what zodiac year is this year? So we know that Gam Nin is our this year. Hai is going to be our am is or are. So Gam Nin Hai Mat Ye Nin Gam Ye Ha Me Lin And again, that yeah can kind of be run together in the mea. Kam nin hai mea li na. What zodiac year is this year? Who would like to answer it before we go to the next slide? Anybody want to answer what zodiac year is this coming year, let's say, 2023?
Or even you can practice asking this question as well.
Yeah, that's good too. Anyone? No? Okay, we can move on.
今年係鼠年，
今年係咩年？
老鼠年。
Is
Wait,
it?
no, wait, oh no, it's 老虎，我唔記得咗。
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Brilliant. So how about, yeah, actually, because we're not yet to Chinese New Year, yeah, it's the year of the tiger, right? Yeah.
We're still in the 20, even though it's 2023, but in the lunar calendar sense, we are still in the year of tiger because the cycle hasn't started yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, no Bugs Bunny yet, says Frank. Okay, so yeah, so if we wanted to, well, we didn't really talk about that. So what if we go to the next slide and see? Yep. So actually, yes, we're actually getting ahead of ourselves here because of course until January 23rd, it's not the new year of the rabbit. But if we were after this, let's just pretend that we're after the 23rd and we're already in the Tolin, right? So you say Gam Nin hai Tolina. Would anyone like to have a go at saying that one?
今年係兔年啊。
Yeah, good. Okay, so our next one is if you wanted to ask somebody what zodiac sign are you, just nai, right? Nai sop mega. And this, of course, you already know you're talking about the zodiac. Otherwise, if you just walked up to somebody and said this, they wouldn't probably have any idea what you're talking about. But if you already know that we're talking about the Chinese zodiac and you said Nei sop mega, you're actually asking you belong to what? And then that ga at the end is just your particle for emphasis. Anyone want to have a go? Okay, we can go on to the next one. Ngõ sụp chu ga, nấy na. Now, if you remember that nấy na at the end is our way of asking like, and you, right? Or what about you? So I was born in the year of the pig. Ngõ sụp chu ga, nấy na, right? What about you? So, yeah, if I were to ask you, Lấy sụp mega, how would you answer it? I know we did this a little bit before. We can have another go. And then you ask back with the nấy na. How about that? Any takers? You guys are all being very shy tonight.
It's a very windy and rainy night that we have in the Bay Area.
Oh, no. I know. It's kind of like a typhoon happening where you guys are, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Having been in many of those typhoon situations, ooh, they get a bit scary and a bit, yeah. But yeah. So in any case, we kind of went over these before, and you would just be saying also, and then the year that you are. And you could add the particle ga just for emphasis. Also ju ga nei na. Okay, and our next one is also to ga. Right, so I belong to, or I was born in the year of the rabbit. So sometimes you can see, a lot of times in Chinese, there's 4 characters up there, right? 4 characters. And the English sentence often turns out to be a lot longer. And that's because you can kind of pack a lot into a few characters in Chinese. And if you ever read something that's bilingual, a lot of times sometimes you're wondering like, how can they actually match? But that's because, as you can see, 4 characters can convey a lot of information that in English we have to write more about. Okay. So that's pretty much all we had for tonight. We just wanted to give you guys an introduction to the Chinese zodiac and chat about that. We can, next time we're going to be going more into getting ready for Chinese New Year, because, you know, it's still a couple weeks away. We've got two more sessions. And I know, Janet, you said that if you want to join the next 2 sessions, you've got to register for them individually. Is that right?
Yes, correct. So for the last session that some of you might have registered, once you register for 3 sessions. But for this edition, if you would like to attend the January 11th and the January 18th one, there's individual links where you have to go and sign up and register for that. And I hope you will come back and join us.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we didn't have a lot to chat about today, but what questions do you guys have? Do you have any questions for us? Or I haven't looked at the chat yet. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah. We actually got a lot of feedback from our last sessions, and perhaps some of the course material is a little bit too much that some people find. So we are trying to do a little bit less, but allow more time for you to be able to ask questions or repeat some of the things that Sue is trying to teach us.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hoping to learn how to be able to speak to my in-laws better, and this is helpful. Yay. Okay, good. Next time we will be absolutely doing more of like, we're going to be talking about the Tunin Fan, which is usually the family gathering before the New Year. Is or when is the See, I always like do all these things, and then like I have to admit that I don't really pay much close attention sometimes to like certain dates when we do things. But yes, definitely, maybe we can add in some things on what to say to your in-laws, especially at that family gathering before the New Year. And we'll be talking about preparations, cleaning house, and different things, and we'll try to get together like a little good dialogue, maybe between you and your in-laws or you and your parents that you want to see. I usually just say hosek a lot when we're eating together. Hosek. Yeah, it tastes good. Yeah. Any other questions or anything you guys want to ask or practice or comment? Yeah, you guys are so welcome. I mean, this is so much fun to do, and there's so much to talk about. I really hope that if you want, I do have a video on the Cantonese Corner YouTube channel where I'm just on my sofa in my little Cantonese corner talking about the different Chinese zodiac animals and other videos as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so on this screen, you will actually see that we have a tiny URL that you can go to. That is Cantonese Corner that Sue created on her YouTube channel. She also has a website, but she's transferring a lot of this material most likely onto YouTube. It's an ongoing process for her. And she's also on Instagram at Cantonese Corner, which you can also find her. And on Instagram, you will also see a lot of Cantonese learning material these days. And one of the more famous one is called Safe Cantonese. And that one is run by Stanford. And then another one is Safe Cantonese CCSF that is run by the City College in San Francisco as well. In the library end, we will have our Cantonese learning resources that we put onto this link right here, which is oaklandlibrary.org/CantoTalk. We have songs in there, we have CDs recommendations, we also have books that you can check out, also some electronic resources as well. And you can also follow us on our Instagram page at Asian Branch Library. And this time around, and we got the feedback from last time, our wonderful librarian Wendy actually prepared a handout for all of you. And tomorrow, I will be emailing everybody so then you will have access to this PowerPoint, all the slides, and also to the special handout that Wendy created for you. And then you can practice your Cantonese.
Yeah, and I know there's a question about asking next time about learning Cantonese. And yeah, for sure, we can leave some time. I'm always happy to share what I know about learning Cantonese. And as you mentioned, Janet, there are so many Instagram, what do you call them, pages? Instagram, people on Instagram who are sharing even like a Cantonese word a day or sharing how to learn. And yeah, absolutely. How old when I began learning Cantonese? Oh gosh, I was 20. So I had gone to university with some girls from Hong Kong. And so I was used to listening to it, but I didn't start learning until I was like 23, 24. I mean, at my age now, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I was so young. But I certainly wasn't. I didn't go to school in Hong Kong. I didn't learn as a child. I definitely learned as an adult. And so it can be done. I know, like you said, if he's a bit older and maybe doesn't feel confident in learning, it's absolutely, yeah, yep. Watch subtitle Hong Kong movies. I agree with that, Frank. Learning Hong Kong, especially like the video, Janet, the song that you played before, it's actually in Cantonese and not like in the standard written. And so you can learn a lot of Cantonese from that song. It's brilliant. Yeah. Some of the songs that they're now doing in Cantonese. I was big on song lyrics. I have to say, I learned a lot of Cantonese listening to songs. I didn't watch as much TV or movies, and I should have. So yeah, Frank, you're spot on with that. Watch subtitle Hong Kong movies. They're so good. And especially the older ones are really good.
And listening to songs is also a very good way to learn Cantonese because Cantonese is a tonal language. So the song that you hear, the different tones, it often match actually with the tone of the language itself already. So listening to a lot of Cantonese song can also really help you to sort of listen and pick up that sound of it as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Because even when I'm teaching now, I'll be like, yeah, it's from that song. You know that song? And a lot of times the songs are so old, people are like, no, I don't know that song. I'm like, you should know that song because when you hear a word or a phrase, and also, of course, listening to more if you've got relatives or you have friends, listening to them speak. I mean, had I not had my friends to listen to, it was so frustrating. I cannot tell you how frustrating it was sometimes to just, they knew how to speak English perfectly well, but they would always speak in Cantonese and it would be super frustrating. But it helped me so much when I actually went to learn it because I was so used to the rhythm and so used to the different tones that they were using. So absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
So this almost is going to bring us to the end of lesson 1. And before we go, I would like to say thank you to Sue. And we hope to see everybody again next week.